Hey, I'm Britton.
And I'm Matt Collins.
Since 2011, Buckethead has released 325 albums in his Pike series, and we're going to listen to them 3 at a time. This is Gettin Head, Bucketcast. Welcome, ding-dongs, long-dongs, and bong-mons, frog frauds, dad bods, cod slogs, and guys named Todd. Those who are odd, those who work jobs, and fans of Wade Boggs. Dudes with fat hogs, guys who roll logs, and Harold Cicada, the guy who played Oddjob in James Bond. People who sing songs, people who mow lawns, and busy moms who choose both Jif and to wash their dishes with John. Dawn, sorry. It's not a yawn. It's a lot of fun, so open up that ass, because we're coming on past. It's episode 101 of Gettin Head, a Bucketcast. Hello.
Hey, buddy, that was amazing.
Thank you.
My favorite thing is that, I don't know if anyone's, watching the live stream. If that's
We don't really do the
stream
live stream. No, not really. No one ever watched it in the first place, so...
Oh, well, boo to them. They're lost.
Yeah.
But Britt was making eye contact with the camera during all of that.
Oh,
I don't think he was reading anything.
No, I wasn't. From memory. I do the George Carlin thing. What do you call it? Cocaine.
Hey, he was great.
He was.
It works for some people.
Even
does.
When he stopped doing cocaine, he could still kind of do it, which, I mean... His last comedy special, though, was rough.
Yeah, but, I think he had probably stopped. He had a whole comedy special about death, after his wife died before him and stuff. Yeah. He did one every year for 35 years or something like that,
Yeah.
So I feel like sometimes... a drug like cocaine or, some drugs are like personalities and they continue on with the person even after,
right.
They've ended it, sure. A couple of maybe cybacillin burnouts or something that even though they're not on mushrooms anymore.
I mean, even guys who would just smoke so much weed, they're, they say perma-fried or whatever. They're definitely those guys. But most of the time they're perma-fried. I'm like, no, he's just stoned right now still. It's okay. It's fine. He's an adult. You can do that.
Yeah. What are you drinking, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing the Sunkissed orange zero sugar. The diet Sunkissed. It's delicious. I love a good orange soda. Unfortunately, it's caffeinated, so I can't drink the Sunkissed too late. Who caffeinates orange soda? Why do they do that?
That's insane. What are they caffeinating it? There's no caffeine in oranges, is there?
No, exactly. It's like in nature, there's not a caffeinated orange. So why are they putting it in the soda equivalent? I don't get it.
That's wild.
And it's not like they put it in the grape soda. It's just the orange soda.
Or the strawberry soda. There's strawberry sodas out there.
There are.
We forget about.
So Big Red has a bunch of caffeine.
Really?
I don't know, is that strawberry
that's like bubble gum.
Is that bubble gum?
No. Big Red is bubble gum, I do believe.
Okay.
Which has
really
always been the most insane flavor profile to me.
So yeah, it's officially it's a combination of lemon and orange oils topped off by pure vanilla that offers a creamy aftertaste. Which
wait, was that Big Red?
That's what Big Red says they are. Yeah.
Okay.
But I could definitely buy it's bubblegum-ish for sure. It's got that, I don't know. Because bubblegum definitely has that vanilla fruit kind of thing going on. I think that's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
It has that, it tastes like what Kirby would probably, jizz in your mouth a Kirby load.
Kirby would taste like or just as cum.
Yeah, his cum.
Yeah, I think he'd taste more like a marshmallow peep, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. No, he'd be much richer.
Yeah.
But, I think he probably ejaculates bubblegum flavor. Spunk.
Thinking about it, Peeps are kind of I don't know, they're whatever. Peeps are fine, right? I feel like we need a condiment for Peeps. That would really revitalize the whole Peeps game, wouldn't it?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. I mean, hot chocolate, right? Or
hot chocolate, because hot chocolate always goes with marshmallows. So
You melt it down. Maybe that's too easy. Obviously, you can't sell hot chocolate with a bag of Peeps.
Maybe it's got to be like a hot strawberry thing. Like because hot chocolate, its equivalent is like chocolate milk, right? But they got the strawberry milk. Yeah. Like hot strawberry milk.
What if they paid more attention to the design of the Peep, and different parts of the chick had different flavors, like a crunchy strawberry beak, maybe like lemon wings.
Okay. If I'm into this.
They zhuzhed it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because what it is right now is just marshmallow covered in yellow sugar, which is not great.
Yeah, the real big problem too is the blue ones, the pink ones, the yellow ones, they all taste the same. They're all the same flavor. Yeah. Like, I want some variety. If I'm putting like a different colored thing in my mouth, I expect it to taste quite different. Not with people, because that'd be racist. Every dick has its
Everyone
own
needs
flavor.
to taste like bubble gum. Okay? No matter what kind of dick I put in my mouth. Black, white, yellow, purple.
That's why I call them all big red. Call them all big red.
I only blow diabetic dudes. Call that racist if you want.
No, I think that's pretty woke, actually. I believe that's what the children call based.
You're welcome, kids.
Yeah, that's the least ableist thing I've heard all day.
So, speaking of Cap and none of thereof, how you doing, man? How's
doing pretty good.
The show?
Show's going pretty good. If you listened last week, I did a solo episode, my first solo episode. Spencer, I talked about it briefly. Won't talk about it much, but he decided to take a break. So he's not here.
But was he ever really?
He wasn't. Yeah, we love Spencer. He wasn't, fully engaged with the project at any time, though, unfortunately. So, hopefully we'll get some new birth and some new ideas and some new vigor out of this podcast. Even though we're getting to the point where I've caught up with Buckethead, to the point where maybe I'll have to release an episode once a month or two when he releases 3 Pikes, but
Yeah. So I thought that he had only released 200. It's been about a year since I've been on the show. So
right.
I'm on once a year. What happened? I thought you should have been caught up by now.
So yeah, about a year ago, we would have been caught up right about now. This might have been our last episode, but Buckethead kind of came back to it. He's released maybe 25, 30 Pikes this year so far. He's been releasing a lot. Within the last week, I think he's released 3. So, he's fucking ripping it up. He's gotten new juice. He announced a new collaboration with this I think Middle Eastern or Asian singer. This lady that he worked with on the album that Serge Tankian produced, Enter the Chicken. And she announced this week on her social medias that they're doing an official project together. And I think it's a full album, which is going to be fucking awesome because their track is sick. It was a Colma off of that album, which is one of the best tracks. So, yeah.
Serge Tankian produced Enter the Chicken?
Yeah.
Wild. I did not, because I've heard that album.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense now.
He's on one of the tracks, but yeah, I think it was released on Surgical Strike as well.
Wow. Wild, man. Serge Tankian, huh? How about that System of a Down thing? How much were you into System of a Down back in middle school?
Wow, you called me out perfectly. You have no idea how many fucking times I ripped Toxicity for my friends. I heard that album. I must have used a full fucking 25 pack from Fred Meyer, a fucking blank DV D-Rs or some shit on that.
They're trying to build a prison.
Dude, that song blew my mind, man. They're giving all prison statistics, and I'm like, holy shit, I think music's shaping my politics. What?
Yeah, man. No, that album was legit sick. As much... I just laugh because of the nostalgia. That's all, But at the time, it was power. Probably still is, honestly, But I've maybe matured a little bit.
Album still slaps for the most part.
All right. I mean, Pogo, right? Like Pogo's a little,
Hey, Pogo, 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 Pogo. Yeah, that one's fun. Tapeworm. Pull the tapeworm out of your ass. Hey, that's a great little ditty. That's
pretty great.
It's
pretty
just
great.
like the album has so much energy, and it's just like so much fun. It is one of the more fun metal albums ever made.
I love looking back on music and realizing that the artists like that I was so passionate about were just kind of goofballs, in between everything, right? Mm-hmm. Like Pogo, it's nice that you remember System of a Down as this super serious band when, they certainly are, but they also, could just throw in a Pogo every now and again.
Right. And I feel like that sense of humor is largely missing from music anymore, unfortunately. Yeah, which really stinks. Like, we love to be able to see, like, big mainstream artists be silly with themselves and release, like, stuff on their album that just, like, kind of sucks, but it's fun.
Yeah. If anyone even made albums anymore. But,
no one really does. We
leave that to the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. They're the one band.
And Buckethead,
making albums.
Yeah.
And motherfucking Buckethead. Like, if there was any band that ever ripped off Buckethead, it's King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
You think? Just a little bit.
I mean, maybe not like literally.
Yeah, conceptually.
But, conceptually, like, you take a vibe and then you do that for as long as you want. Much like the three Pikes that we listen to today, each 26-minute album is basically like Buckethead has a thought and then goes down that path,
Yeah.
And the King Gizzard, I haven't listened to all their albums because there is a lot, but I've definitely listened to a fistful.
Yeah.
They release maybe like 3 a year, much like Buckethead.
Well, they've got their they were doing like a dozen a year. Like, it was crazy.
I know they've only been together, or me and Anchorage, Alaska, have only been aware of them for like 6 years or something at this point, where Buckethead, I was, probably a teenager or something when I first heard of him. But yeah, King Gizzard, they've done their like 1970s sleazy kind of porno music album. They've done their, they're fighting dragons and
their metal album's pretty cool. I like their metal albums. Like,
but every time you're gonna hear that drum fill, right?
True.
So there's those staples. But if I ever got a chance to see King Gizzard or Buckethead or those two together, I mean, them there. You're the best.
Anytime of the week. You want to do some? You want to listen to some goth news?
Yes. Oh my God, goth news, please.
Let's get into it. Goth news. Goth news. In goth news this week, according to an article by Blabbermouth, Norwegian gothic metal pioneers Tristania have called it quits after more than a quarter century as a band. According to their final statement as a band on social media, quote, after 26 years on the international metal scene, the members of Tristania have this week taken the decision to call it a day. That means that future plans, including the scheduled Latin American tour in December, have been canceled. Last week came the news about a serious medical situation in the family within the band, which will make it impossible to pursue both short and long-term plans with the band. This came as a shock to us, and we are truly sorry to share this. Our sincere apologies to anyone that will be affected by this decision. We want to thank everyone we have worked together with for almost 3 decades of writing music, recording, releasing, and touring. But especially, we would like to give an extra heartful thank you to Continental Concerts that has stood by us in thick and thin through a significant part of the band's career. Last but not least, we would like to thank our loyal fans all over the world for amazing experiences throughout the years. Without you, we would have had no inspiration to continue for so many years. While the band has been actively touring up until now, their last album was Darkest White, released back in 2013, so their breakup wasn't a complete shock, creatively at least. We wish good luck to all their members in their future endeavors. What was the worst or weirdest way you've ever had a band breakup?
A really bad show.
Oh yeah, we've all had those ones where everyone blows up on each other right after the show, and it's just like, well, this is done. Or was it just worse, like, man. No, this is fucking. It's obviously over.
It was a whimper, absolutely. It was there wasn't a you fucking drunk, fuck you, lost everything. No,
it was just like you'd never have another practice again. You just never call each other. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, we were so we had added a fourth member to Shy Bones, and at this point in the band's history, we were, I guess for anybody listening for some context, we were kind of like a dinner salad alternative rock band.
Yeah, I actually totally forgot you were in Shy Bones for some reason.
Well, and that's easy to do because I was just the drummer, and we gigged a lot post Beatos. We were like very much a 21 and over band. Right. We kind of cut our teeth playing Bernie's every Wednesday for an entire summer.
Yeah, because for sure. I remember you a lot more for like the under 21 bands like Demonic Squirrels and
Epoch and Stuck.
Oh, Epoch, Stuck. Oh god, what? Bastard Sons of Bangkok.
Oh yeah, with Wang. Hell yeah, love that band. So it's my favorite band.
God Steven Seagal. Still remember a lot of it.
Good.
I still basically remember all the lyrics to that song because it was just naming Steven Seagal's movies up to that point.
Oh yeah! Now there's so many more, right? You should make a Steven Seagal part 2. I'm a part of his Patreon. I'll shoot him a message.
So one of my favorite things, someone posted it on Twitter a while ago, but for a while when you Googled how many films does Steven Seagal have, it said something like at least 58. Which is like, how does Google give such an inspecific answer? That's so cryptic.
I want that to be the only cryptic, non-specific answer Google ever has, too. Not a did you mean, but like, it's an actual answer, and it's just the most human answer from Google.
Right.
Something like 58, dude.
Who knows, dude? Like, I could reference some article, but come on, I'm just some guy who works for Google. I don't want to look.
Do you actually care? Is what the next question should be.
That's probably
We could go look this up. So we added a fourth member, and by that point, we were just never practicing. I suck as a musician and the drummer. So if I don't use it, I lose it. I lose it real quick, real bad. And so we weren't practicing, and we had 5 days to play this bar gig where we're supposed to play 3 hours.
Yikes.
But we, bring on a singer-songwriter, and we'll pay him half to take up half of our time.
Sure.
And so long story short, we add a fourth member. He gets really drunk at the gig.
No.
We're playing Here Comes Your Man by the Pixies. And you know the song. It's like, so long, never wait, so boom, 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 boom. And then the guitar lick comes in. So we he's shit-faced. That's his job. And we go, so long, never wait, so blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah. It was like he was playing the wrong notes on Guitar Hero. That's how bad it sounded.
Amazing.
All him. And the bar was full when we started playing. By the time we ended, nobody was there. We walked the bar. At the end of the gig, the sound man, who we had known for years and years, I know that you've worked with him back at the Coots days with Blood Fist or something. His name is Adam.
I know Adam.
Adam was there, and he's a friend, so he just felt comfortable, and he just looked at us. He goes, "You guys are fucking idiots."
Amazing.
The most sound guy thing ever, right?
We love this. I loved being a sound guy. I was just high and honest. It was great. Good times.
Yeah. So we never played again after that.
Beautiful.
And we never even had a conversation about it. We were never like, "Hey, what do you think about that?" Nope. We all knew in our heart of hearts. How about you? What was the most awkward or unfortunate way?
Probably, I don't know, Blood Fist really sucked because I got really addicted to Adderall and got super aggro and weird. And I just ended up like being a dick to everyone, and then like I think a couple of the members like confronted me about it, and when you're confronted for being a dick with everyone, the thing you shouldn't do, but the thing I did was be a bigger dick about it. Yeah, I chose that path, and so we weren't friends for a while, which is why I wasn't like the original bassist of Corrupture, and I only really came into that band after I started dealing everybody weed. So.
Hey, it's always a good way to get back in people's good graces, dude. There's people that have lived their entire lives still being a dick, that still live the exact same reaction that you had when they, and I think that I think that you've changed. That's really important. You're not a dick.
Indeed. Appreciate that. Thank you. Anyway, speaking of people who aren't dicks, continuing on in goth news and goth obituaries this week. We say goodbye to a true hero to all goths everywhere, Fred Frenzia, heir to the Frenzia boxed wine fortune, and, more importantly, creator of Trader Joe's Charles Shaw wine, better known as $2 Chuck. You got a Trader Joe's up in Alaska, didn't you, finally?
No, we didn't.
That's so dumb.
Nope.
Bummer.
It sucks.
Anyway, Fred Frenzia was born in Modesto, California in 1943 into a family with a long tradition of winemaking. When he was 6 years old, his father took over his grandfather's winery and grew it to be one of the top inexpensive wine producers in California. Fred went to work for the company in 1965 after graduating from university and helped oversee its sale to Coca-Cola in 1973. With earnings from the sale, Fred went on to found Bronco Wines Company, who bought the name Charles Shaw in the early 2000s from a bankruptcy auction. In 2002, Charles Shaw was introduced in Trader Joe's California stores as a $2 bottle of wine and quickly became a staple of both Trader Joe's and goth wine racks everywhere. Frenzia's philosophy was that wine should be enjoyed and consumed on every American table, seeking to defeat the gatekeeping of price and inconvenience in the field in what one person called the unlikely democratization of a historically snobby industry, which I love. So, thanks for that, Fred. You're a true hero to goths everywhere. Sleep forever, dream on, and most importantly, stay dead, my friend. And finally, in goth news this week, in a podcast interview, goth and pizza patriarch Papa John Schnatter has compared recent actions by the U.S. government to those of the USSR. Speaking on the PBD podcast, Schnatter brought up the issue of FBI agents recently confiscating the cell phone of Mike Lindell, the CEO of MyPillow, in a Hardee's parking lot, as well as the FBI raid on Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Also in a Hardee's parking lot.
Anywhere Trump goes is really technically a Hardee's parking lot, isn't it? Like, the man is kind of a walking Hardee's.
Fast food wrappers just fall behind him
in the wind.
Instead of like rose petals at his feet, just McChicken.
There's just a random raccoon in a dumpster somewhere. To quote Schnatter, he said on the podcast, quote, "You saw last night when Mike Lindell was raided by the FBI, Trump just got raided. I mean, we now have Nazi Germany where you're a conservative and you believe in conservative principles and you're outspoken, you got the KGB, which are two things from two separate governments that were like bitter enemies. Like the Soviets are the ones that like defeated the Nazis. So I don't know how you could really have both of those things at once.
Can you imagine a man like this not really thinking through what he says?
He's a pizza and goth patriarch. So I don't know. I usually trust his judgment.
He's usually playing 4D chess.
Really? Sure. Yes, 4D pizza chess, if you will. Schnatter continued attacking more government agencies, saying, the Attorney General, the FBI, the Internal Revenue Service now. I mean, yeah, the government is now an enemy of the freedoms of the people. If you don't think that, if they attack Lindell, Trump, Michael Flynn, Papa John, if they attack us, sooner or later, they're going to attack every American that doesn't believe in their ideology that has a voice.
The upper crust society.
Hey, you did it. You did it. That upper crust gets one packet of garlic butter per pizza. Only one.
You know it's getting used. You know it's getting used. We're not putting that back in the fridge. No way.
Everyone loves that garlic butter. That's the only reason to go to Papa John's. Like, if they just sold that in stores, Papa John's like storefronts would just shut down.
Yeah, they wouldn't need it.
No.
Wouldn't need it.
So it's not certain whether or not the government cares at all about Schnatter, since he's never been raided, and the government has never really come after him for anything, despite his ideologies. But instead, private industry is the only thing that's ever really penalized him for anything. So I'm not certain what he meant by any of this. One thing I am certain of, though, is Schnatter stepped down as CEO of Papa John's in 2018 after he blamed declining sales on football players protesting the treatment of black people in America, causing their stock to fall 30%. He then used the N-word during a conference call.
Golf news!
That's golf news.
I love golf news, dude.
Yeah,
I'm just vibing so hard with goths these days. I love them. I love you guys.
Goths are, we are oddly, almost, becoming a monoculture in a way. Nothing's a real monoculture, but, like, most goth people I've met are, like, cool, spooky dudes.
Yeah. What's some good music? What's some good new tunes that I could listen to? I'm
like
still
some good new goth tunes?
Yeah, exactly. There's some stuff coming out of Russia, apparently.
You're talking about, like, Netzer Ebb? That's the big that's the big thing right now. Of course, I always recommend, like, Trust is great, Cold Cave is really good.
Cold Cave.
Cold Cave's super good. What else is fairly newish in goth? I'm trying to think.
What's that bass tone? That Joy Division.
Oh, okay.
That Joy Division bass tone.
Okay, you want to know how to get a goth bass tone?
How can I get more of that in my life?
Okay,
yeah.
So just bass at like 6, treble at like 4, mid boost. So especially lower mid boost. Probably mid at like 7 or 8, right? After that, you definitely, the two effects that make things sound super, super goth on bass especially are going to be chorus and reverb. And so,
nice.
Some, especially like reverb on the lower end. So if you can like roll back that high EQ, it's definitely.
What is chorus? I've been using that for years on, like, it's doing radio stuff, so it's all on the voice.
Right.
Is it just like an automized layering?
Yeah, so I think that's exactly what it is. It just takes like a clip of what just happened, basically, and like plays it. I think that's pretty much all it is. It layers something like a millisecond or two ahead of time, and then the parameters adjust the time and several other things. But I'm pretty sure that's what chorus is. And,
awesome.
Chorus are cool. They're they definitely got their own place.
Yeah,
lots of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff you can do with them. You still playing any music, any instruments, anything like that?
I'm trying, man. You got
a kid that takes up time.
Yeah, but it's also like I can play guitar for him.
You can, exactly. But also at the same time, it'll be cooler once he develops hands and you can teach him guitar.
Exactly, it's going to be so much fun. So I've bought so many instruments. I am that dad. Like I ordered a like not a hand pan, but something similar to it.
Yeah.
From Turkey, through Etsy, but it's a steel drum and everything's in the same key, so he can just bang on stuff.
Oh, nice.
And it still sounds good.
Right, exactly.
And that's like the most important thing. Allow him to make things that sound nice, and it'll hopefully empower him to be into music. So we got like a lot of drums, we got bongos. I've got I'm playing music all the freaking time for him. Nice. He likes so far I think he's okay with Beach House. He likes a good still Raffi #1.
But Raffi's always #1. Have you introduced him, or have you heard yet? They Might Be Giants kids music.
I did not know that those two Johns made kids music.
The two Johns.
I guess maybe they always had.
So in a way, I mean, some of their stuff before had been really adult themed, but they have made, I think, 5 or 6 specific children's albums, and they're all phenomenal. Like and they teach great lessons. There's an album called No that has a song called No about being able to say no and like what no means. And like great lessons and stuff like that. They have an album called Science is Real about the importance of science, and they just every different song is about different science stuff like outer space and like chemical reactions. They got one called Here Come the ABCs, where every single song is about words and the ABCs. Like their kids albums. I used to be a child care counselor living up in Alaska, and like me and Scott both were, and that's like. That and Raffi are the only two kids' music we could like stand after a while.
Because so much of kids' music is so, I guess, toxic, to the lack of a better word, where it's just the same old crap regurgitated, using little tweaks to get kids' attention. You know, the thing that makes me sick about being a parent right now is I don't know if you've watched any Cocomelon, but there's a little stinger at the beginning of every Cocomelon video, and that's Q in his little brain. Raffi never had stingers or cues or subliminal, things to get kids to like watch longer. But there's just this little intro to Cocomelon that just I don't know, just hits the right spot in his little lizard brain.
Bummer. Yeah. So Raffi is actually like he's got a big thing about like not advertising to children at all. And like his corporation is like set up to be like socially responsible and shit like that. And like Raffi is sick as fuck. He's woke as fuck too. Raffi rules.
Yeah, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah, like a couple of years ago when like the BLM stuff was happening, he just started posting like Antifa stuff on his Instagram, and I'm like, what? When he kept posting it, people are like, really, Antifa? You're with that? And he's like, yes, I'm against fascism. And like, I'm like, fuck, Raffi's based
and to
shit.
Just be able to say it, exactly, and just being in your face about it.
Yeah, because what are you gonna do?
Respect that.
Like tank Raffi's career? He's like in his 70s, and he's like an iconic children's musician. Like he is beloved by everyone. If you attack Raffi, you're gonna look like a fucking monster. Like Raffi is one of those people, like Mr. Rogers, that's fucking unimpeachable. Like. How dare you?
Agreed.
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you? Fascists, how dare you? You've made Raffi angry. Look at what you've done. Raffi hates you. Raffi is anti-you fascists.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I mean, no
Become
fascists will listen.
Unfascist now.
Yeah, absolutely. If any fascists ever listen to this, like doing Oppo research, don't.
No.
Yeah. Don't do it. Don't do it. Raffi's against it.
So switching topics real quick, I have thought of you recently. I mean, I love the shows and everything. I love what you're doing. Love the Patreon subscriber. I think anyone who's listening, become a subscriber. It's affordable. You get a lot of great content. But I was thinking about you for a specific question.
Yes.
So I wanted to get like a tattoo of my son's laugh, like maybe on my wrist or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a waveform.
Oh yeah. But
cool. I'm worried that that's going to be that could be mistaken for one of those tattoos where you put your hand up someone's ass, and that's like the mark on how far you could go. Was that ever a thing? Have you heard of that at all?
I have not heard of that. And if that was like a thing, like people like they'd code it a lot better than that. Like one thing I did get, and it made me afraid of having this tattoo, is I got to on my wrist here, like the third or fourth tattoo I think I ever got. It was it's like the equality symbol, like the human rights organization symbol, and like it's just the equal sign. But in someone saw it because it's like white on black, and so the equal symbol is like just my skin tone, and then there's like a black thing around it, a box. And I was at a cafe like 3 days after I got it, and some guy's like, "Hey, what you selling?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I selling?" He's like, a tattoo on your wrist. It's an 8-ball, right? You're selling a little, And I'm like, no, what? So this guy thought I was a coke dealer, and I'm like, oh no, are people gonna think I'm a coke dealer because of this tattoo? Only person to ever say it to me, and I've had this tattoo for like a decade now. And he said it to me like 2 days after I got the tattoo. So, yeah, thankfully that's never happened. But yeah, that's not anything I've ever heard of in tattoo culture. Getting a thing like that, like.
I mean, obviously it was something that I heard of, but it was like a thing that from Vice from like 2002 or some shit,
That's
so
probably the same article you saw, like, learn about the Dirty Sanchez from, or like the Alaskan pipeline, like something that doesn't really exist too much.
I mean, I was only there for the do's and don'ts. It was like, what do these tattoos mean? But I was actually going to get it probably like on the outside of the wrist, kind of like where your equal sign is, because I think the inside, I don't know,
that's
totally
working
cool for me.
So a lot of tattoo artists now will do like topical or local numbing cream. If that's a possibility, get it.
Oh really? Is it a really hard?
It's
a bad
just
spot?
the bone on the like the edge of your wrist right there is like super weird and kind of painful.
Okay, good tip. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You've gotten some new tattoos recently, right? Over the past year?
No, not the past few years. I mean, I think the last ones I got were probably like my finger tattoos, and I did those myself. So.
No shit, really?
Yeah, that's like
awesome.
I don't know, Leviathan cross, like an arrow thing. What do you call the mountains from Twin Peaks? The Twin Peaks symbol.
Yeah, no man, they look good.
Thank you.
I was coveting your left pointer finger. I was like, that's a nice one. You can
have it if you want.
Are you playing music anymore?
Yeah, I play some of my own music a little bit. I don't know, not a ton. I'm doing more other content right now. Who knows though? I mean, I do make a lot of music for like the other podcasts and stuff, but it's just like a skill I kind of use more passively now for like other projects. I don't really make music for music's sake anymore, but
you're good enough to where you can still pick up your bass and do some fucking shred.
Yeah, I didn't lose anything. And actually, I've been playing a lot of guitar lately, just because I like fucking around with guitar. So I don't know. I'm still keeping some skills, getting some new ones.
Are you doing wrestling? Are you like, watching? Are you still into pro wrestling?
Oh, I love watching wrestling. Hell yeah, wrestling rules.
We have we've got a promotion up here.
I heard. I saw actually someone was putting. It might have been you who was putting up pictures, but like my mom works with someone who is a wrestler there. Some lady who does wrestling there.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, it's so much fun. I have them on my radio show to do a little kayfabe.
I love that. Hell yeah.
When I messaged him, because I didn't know it was happening, and then I found out, and I was like to my my buddy who's also a dad. When you have like kids, you have dad friends, and you're like, dude, we gotta take the kids to wrestling. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be some like 1980s stuff. It'll be classic. No one's gonna bleed.
Oh no!
And then there was like a
immediate blood. Like it's like the first match starts, and it's like. And here's Tommy, the light man, and he's a guy who comes out with just a bunch of like light tubes to break on people's heads, and you're like, oh fuck.
Goes the fucking trash can, man. Yeah, it wasn't that bad, but it was so much fun. And so I messaged them going like, man, I just want to be your Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah.
I want to do some interviews, and it's such a blast, a blast.
Hell yeah. That's
go wrestling, localized, pro wrestling.
Yeah, if you're listening to this and you have a local promotion, like go and see it. So I actually got someone like really into wrestling. He calls himself Wrestling Pilled now. A listener who's probably listening to this, Dan, down in Portland. I got some tickets to my local wrestling promotion, but then I realized that they were for a show they were doing down in Portland, and they don't do refunds or anything. So I'm like, fuck. Who do I know down in Portland who like might be into wrestling? And I thought of a couple people who were my friends, but I'm like, hey, Dan's a supporter of the Patreon. Why don't I just give him to him? So I sent him down to him, and he went and saw it, and he was like, holy shit, that was amazing. And so he like,
awesome.
He's gone to like a bunch of like local wrestling since then, which is awesome. And like, like giving away tickets to someone, like the best possible outcome, It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Like turning someone on to something, and they're like, "Hey, this is my thing now." Like that's a great feeling.
That is so cool, and just be able to feel that afterwards, and know that those tickets didn't go to waste, because nothing sucks more than wasted tickets.
Agreed. I hate that feeling, and promoters hate it when like less people show up than they thought, even though they already made their money. Like it sucks to see an emptier room than you thought. It's never fun. But you know what doesn't suck? It's bucket facts. Let's get into a bucket fact.
Bucket fact, 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 bucket fact.
Today we're going to talk about Buckethead playing with Snoop Dogg.
Whoa.
Yeah, you fucking heard me.
For your 101st fact, this is Buckethead playing with Snoop.
Yeah, Buckethead has played with Snoop Dogg. I have no idea how I didn't know this until 2 years into this project. But here it is. In 2002, there was a little film made starring Eddie Griffin, Denise Richards, and one Chris Kattan called Undercover Brother. You remember that?
Of course. I never watched it, but I remember it.
I never watched it either. I do remember, like, my brother watched it in the theaters, and he said it was okay.
He's a very nice man.
Yeah. Anyway, Snoop Dogg.
Very kind.
Snoop Dogg, who was at the absolute top of his game at this point. This is when he was like doing Snoop Dizzle Televizzle. You remember that? His show on MTV.
With the guy from Wondershowzen?
That's correct. The guy from Wondershowzen, I think, produced and wrote that thing.
Yeah.
I
think both of them did. I forget their names right now, but I own one of their books. I don't know. One of the greatest comedy duo teams
incredible.
Ever.
Like Wondershowzen is still ahead of its time. 20 years after it was made. Like it is one of the
Xavier Renegade Angel. Like it's an unwatched masterpiece. It's so good.
Absolutely. So anyway, Snoop Dogg, who was at the top of his game at the time, was still very much into the whole G-Funk thing of sampling P-Funk songs into hip-hop. Especially seeing as how this movie was like a 1970s throwback, he thought what could be more perfect than actually getting a member of P-Funk on the track. Enter one Mr. Bootsy Bootzilla Collins. Snoop Dogg calls up Bootsy and asks him to be on the track, and Bootsy takes it one step further. He brings in Buckethead, who he also volunteers to be on the video, and Buckethead is also in the music video for this song. I always assumed the picture of Buckethead, Snoop, and Bootsy going around on the internet was just from some like chance meeting, but no, it is in fact from a music video for a song called Undercover Funk, which heavily samples Tear the Roof Off the Sucker, We Want the Funk. The song is actually an absolute fucking banger, and I would totally recommend listening to it. Buckethead and Bootsy's backing track is an absolute banger, kind of hip-hop rendition of a stripped-down version of Tear the Roof Off the Sucker, and Snoop, as always, is great. The video also features Eddie Griffin and Denise Richards, and it's fun and really dumb in a very early 2000s way. Highly recommended for bucket bots, nostalgists, and hip-hop fans alike.
Bucket fact!
Hell yeah.
That's so awesome. I love Buckethead's life. It's just like mostly because it's Boots. When Bootsy Collins is the guy that can like get you into quote unquote normal society, you are out there.
Right? Like, yeah, when Bootsy Collins is your connection to like,
to a job.
Well, yeah,
essentially,
either Bootsy Collins or like Les Claypool are the people who like hooked him up with his jobs, which is like, yeah, you're weird, dude. You're fucking weird. And it's weird that he doesn't do drugs, because those other dudes do a lot of drugs.
Oh man. Have you learned anything else about, Buckethead since you've been doing this podcast for 2 years? Do you now, almost done with this whole thing, have a kind of understanding of who Brian something or other
Brian
is.
Carroll.
What is it?
Brian Patrick Carroll.
Brian Carroll.
He, yes and no. I mean, there is still a mystique behind Buckethead. I don't get Buckethead. I will always, in a way, be getting head. You know, but at the same time, I will never truly get head, I don't think. And I don't think head is, at this point, nearing the end of the project or the catching up point to the project. I don't know if head is to be gotten.
Yeah,
you know?
that's beautiful, man.
I think head, like, I think the mystery is part of the brand. The mystery is really part of who he is and why it's interesting to be a fan of his in the first place. And when you take off the mask, like, you know, the mystery kind of is gone. And I mean, you know, like when the Phantom of the Opera takes off the mask, speaking of which, Phantom of the Opera closing on Broadway now, which is
goth news.
That's true. I can't believe that wasn't in goth obituaries, but you know, we did definitely have to talk about the guy who made Two Buck Chuck, because that's very important.
Oh, dude, that was a great segment, by the way.
Thank
like,
you.
I felt that was excellently done. Britt, like, you've really stepped up your podcasting game and research, and just like the topic, like, you should, not that radio is any better, but you are good enough to like just do this every day for 4 hours every single day.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And it's weird because I didn't really have, like, I didn't think that about myself at all until last week when I'm like, well, fuck, I don't like have a guest. I'm going to just do this episode by myself. Can I talk about a thing for like an hour and a half? And it just like, I did. It was fine. I recorded it like any regular episode. And then at the end, I just like put in a couple laugh tracks and shit and then booze, you know. Yeah. It was, you know, it's, if I had a soundboard, I could have done a live. So I don't know. It's a thing. It's
add a couple of songs and dude, you get
yeah.
yourself a radio show, and then it's even easier. But no, you're so good at it. And one thing I've never been able to do is like record a podcast by myself. It sounds, I don't know how Bill Burr or you did it.
Yeah, because I mean, you're great at radio and like terrestrial radio. I guess you have those breaks, but like, I mean, I've heard you just talk by yourself for like 5-10 minutes before.
Well, sure,
just
but
put
then,
a bunch of that
you know,
together.
you add another. Well, that's what it is, right? Put a bunch of that together, and my brain just doesn't work like that. I need to reset every once in a while, or have a conversation.
Yeah, conversation. It is nice to just have someone to bounce stuff off of. So that is good, and I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. I love being on podcasts.
Oh yeah. Speaking of the reason for the podcast, we listened to 3 more Pikes this week. Pike 306, Pike 307, and Pike 308. The Toy Cupboard, Mercury Beak, and Theater of the Disembodied, respectively. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me get my notes here.
Hell yeah.
All right, I'm all set.
Let's do it.
Just like dive into the toy cupboard.
Let's do it. Pike 306, the Toy Cupboard, released on January 29th, 2022, just like 7 months ago. 2 days after Story Hourglass, the previous Pike. This one clocks in at 27:08 and is just 2 tracks of about equal length. What do you think of this guy?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. I'm not exactly sure. I haven't kept up with the Pikes.
Right. No one is expected
in a very good way. So I hope that we don't or whatever it is. But you know, if we're treading over well-trodden bucket territory, let me know. But I'm just kind of curious about where his mind is at, because it's really good video game music.
Right.
That's kind of where I was sitting with it. And that's awesome. But the first time I was on this show, it was kind of like amusement park ride music, like the more modern day stuff, not the do, but you know, it had a sense of movement and motion that you were, you know, going to experience. While this, it really felt passive.
passive and a lot of repetition, kind of. Yeah, yeah.
It being 2 songs, 27 minutes, no solos, no parts other than other elements of the song dipping in and out, which I think is basically the theme for these 3 Pikes.
Right.
That it's just an idea, I feel like, that Buckethead had, and then did it until he was done.
So yeah, to give you a little
which was 27 minutes.
Indeed. To give you a little backstory on this, and we'll get into it a little bit more in the Bucket Void, but he actually hasn't done any soloing or really leads to speak of for, I'd say, the past like dozen Pikes or so, which is about the past like year and a half of time, back into like late 2020. Like Buckethead hasn't really soloed or done any leads at all, and there's a lot of thought and discussion in the community that maybe because of his health problems, he was no longer able to solo. And I'm like, what? Okay, like, wait, what? Like, so he can't solo, but he can just like play endless crazy riffs. I don't buy that. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Was he soloing so hard?
Yeah, like
his heart was rapidly beating.
Like,
is that how much he was shredding? His sweat was just.
He fucking wakes up in a hospital bed. The doctor's like, "Son, I'm sorry. You can no longer solo or play leads." Like, what the fuck?
You gotta cool down that shredding. You gotta cool down those. Can I still play fire licks? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm prescribing you, let's see, riffs only here, all right? This you're on a riff only diet now.
And funny sounding kill switches.
Oh, yeah.
Make it squawk, boy. Make it squawk.
Riffs and effects only. So, yeah, we start out on this album. First track is The Toy Cupboard, titular track. It's kind of standard, but kind of, sick blues metal riff.
Thank you for the blues metal, because I wrote down southern-ish.
Yeah, southern-ish, blues-ish. Yeah. It gets pretty proggy, pretty fast, though, and he plays around a bunch with it in some goofy staccato, almost like I'd say primacy kind of ways, but like this is notably, I don't think there's really bass in this album. And if there is, it's mixed way back. Like most of the time I thought I heard bass, I'm like, no, I think that's just like some heavy bass reverb on the guitar. I'm not sure. And it's probably a baritone guitar anyway. So, yeah.
I don't think he has a bass player, and these drums, at least for the last 2 Pikes, they sounded realish, but also 2022, and maybe he just updated his software or something. Yeah. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It sounds fuller, but yeah, there is no bass at all, and I can't remember a time when there was.
Oh, there
if
always
he wasn't playing it.
Yeah, there was bass. Yeah, because Dan Monty used to produce and record with him, but Dan Monty on his own website only credits himself with playing on Pikes up to 2017. And but then again, his website was last updated in 2017. So who knows? That's another kind of bucket mystery. Does Dan Monty still work on the Pikes at all? Because he did for the first like 200, and then maybe not. And like bass has been pretty absent from the past maybe a couple years of Pikes, and instead we kind of get a lot of like backing keyboards, a lot of keyboard pads, stuff like that, and then a lot of whammy pedal stuff to make the guitar sound more like a bass. It's its own thing, not my favorite, but whatever. This song, there's a lot of riff repetition in the song, but the song is constantly changing it up with like soft parts, funky parts, more metal parts. It's actually like really dynamic for how much repetition it does have. But it always has like a funky kind of bluesy backbone, which I liked,
Yeah. I really enjoyed listening to it in all 3 of these. I mean, I was cooking, and it was just this really good cooking music. I could have been playing a video game, but I was making a chicken soup, and I was digging on it, man. It just sounded great.
A passive music, and like that's one of the things is like I don't love the passive Pikes so much, because when I do like notes for the show, I just sit down with like coffee and Diet Coke and just like write everything out over the period of several hours. So like when I'm doing this, I'm like engaged with the music, and if it's not engaging music, I'm like, Oh, there's that riff again. Well, and I'm just like waiting for something new to happen. So, I'm a little more critical of stuff like this, and it's fine. A lot of people online too were pretty critical of it, but mostly just because he stopped doing solos. That's something a lot of Bucketheads get fucking crusty about, is like no Bucket solos. Because some people only really came to Buckethead as fans in the first place for his solos. They could care less about his other stuff.
But he's an amazing riff writer.
He is. He's a riff machine for sure.
Which, I mean, these riffs are super tasty, and I wish that like some new metal band in 2006 would have taken him or something. Mm-hmm. Like he's,
and that's the thing is like,
maybe he's feeling nostalgic for Five Finger Death Punch. I don't know. You know, but it does feel like mid 2000s. Stuff without the the DJ.
Yeah, I like the end of the song. It was diverse, interesting. I did get definitely like an early 2000s vibe from a lot of it, like either new metal-ish or like, kind of southern metal-ish, that early super joint ritual type stuff.
Sure. Yeah. I got into a real Hank 3 thing this week.
Interesting.
Diving into him, which is nothing like this, obviously.
Oh, no.
But,
like, well, I mean, there's different...
Oh, no, he was in Down. Excuse me. He was in Down.
Well,
right?
I thought he was in Super Joint too, wasn't he? No? Maybe.
Oh, maybe he was in Super Joint. Maybe I was listening to the wrong thing.
Yeah, but decent song. After that, we got The Great Carousel, which is kind of a funk metal song more than anything. It plays, I don't know, so for the first like big part of the song, I wasn't sure if he was playing it on a bass or just like a baritone guitar with a whammy pedal. And that's where I was like, maybe there is bass, but I'm really just not sure at this point because there's so many effects going on. Like nothing is clean. Everything is like distorted and like enveloped. It's got a bunch of shit on it, and he's doing like a bunch of, kill switch. So I'm like, whatever.
And maybe that's where the whammy bar is coming in. Because I was like, all right, it's not quite kill switch, but it's, he definitely leans into the signature Buckethead. So,
yep.
Much like the King Gizzard drum fill that goes.
This song, I don't know, it kind of almost reminds me of like Bootsy Collins stuff, maybe a little like Praxis-ish, but like Bootsy Collins more metal stuff, like the stuff he did with Buckethead. It's slower and more melodic for the most part than the last song, which is kind of nice. It has great drum programming.
Okay, so it is programmed. Okay,
all the drums are programmed. Yeah.
Some of it sounded really good.
It was very well programmed, yeah. And I think since he's not doing bass, he's like stepping up the drum programming a lot. So that's nice, but I'd like to have good drum programs and bass, but you can't have everything, right? You can't have everything.
What I guess it comes back to the question of, and I'm sure this is the question you've been asked more than any other, what is the point of this? Of what is the point of Buckethead making these pikes? And it just must be he just wants to make it for making its sake. However, why don't you want to complete it? Is this like Buckethead's idea of a completed album?
I don't
know.
And that's the thing is maybe he wants people to do something with it. Maybe he wants someone to play bass tracks or do vocals, because like no one has ever really done that. A few like rappers here and there, but like no like metal artists have really fleshed out a Buckethead song that I can think of, which would be pretty cool.
That's how you end the show.
As I just do, go back through all of the Pikes and add lyrics to them.
Or maybe one song,
Yeah, actually one song from each Pike would be kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I've seen you throw down some vocals, and you're pretty.
I can do vocals a little.
Yeah, you can certainly play bass.
I can.
But yeah, the Great Carousel. It was
was all right.
It was fine. Yeah. What happened is so I'm cooking and I keep on checking, like, okay, how long is this? Because I think that the songs change. It's kind of like a Slayer song, except that there's more songs than you think of. Right. Slayer, this song's been going on for 15 minutes. Buckethead, it's the opposite effect, where it's like, oh, okay, what song number is this? Oh, it's track
2.
1. Okay. So yeah.
Get that.
Track 2.
Definitely.
It was good.
Overall, I feel like this was a slightly above average Pike, but I really miss solos. I really miss leads. And they've been absent from the Pikes for like, I don't know, probably the last like half a dozen episodes now, which sucks.
What's the last good guitar solo that sticks out in your mind?
Like to be
ever, in song, not just Buckethead, but like, what's just like a sick solo that sticks out in your head?
Honestly, like the last good guitar solo that I remember was like, it was a song on Random Access Memory, the fucking Daft Punk album. Nile Rodgers, great guitarist. That's the last one I remember. I mean, there's some, I don't know if you would consider them really guitar solos, but like Chromeo has had some good ones. I don't know. I feel like the guitar solo, I guess there's good guitar solos in metal. I just can't think of any. How about you? What was the last great guitar solo you heard?
So it's from a country band.
Wow, interesting.
Brothers Osborne.
Interesting.
Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
It's okay if you haven't, but I'm still doing some a year into country radio, just getting into all the ins and outs and the nuances. I'm still doing hard rock radio, but little country, little rock and roll. The Brothers Osborne. They're it's obviously a couple of brothers, and the brother who sings came out as gay
awesome.
Last year, and so that was a huge. Unfortunately, it was a huge scandal in country radio, which sucks.
Yeah, that does suck.
Yeah. So they're still really popular and getting like a lot of really good support, except from country radio.
Oh no,
who I represent. I know, right?
Are you? I mean, obviously, you feel positively about him. Are you allowed to talk about him on the radio? Is that something where they're like,
I don't play him.
Oh,
so that's the thing where I'm at. We're not playing their new shit.
Oh,
and
like,
so
like by
I guess
mandate?
I don't have, not by mandate, just by the weird system of Nashville. Nashville has essentially blacklisted him.
Oh no,
for being gay.
No,
I know.
That sucks.
Well, it's the worst. They're still winning awards and Grammys, and they're accepted everywhere else except for country radio, which is unfortunate. But they have this song called "Stay a Little Longer," which was on the radio until he came out, and it is the first song I've ever heard that has a 2.5-minute solo at the end. At the half-minute mark of the song, all the way to the end.
Holy moly.
It was on the radio, and that solo kicks ass. Nice. And it's by his brother, and his brother's like good country guitar playing. So fucking good.
Come to think of it, the last good guitar solo I heard played live was, I don't know if you play him. You might play him on, do you play Drive-By Truckers at all on your
I love the Drive-By Truckers.
So I saw Jason Isbell live.
I love them, but we don't play them.
Oh, bummer. So
yeah. I know. Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah. So I just saw Jason Isbell from the Drive-By Truckers live, and he was incredible. At the very end, they played a song with the guy from Pearl Jam, Mike McCready, and they had like a solo off, and Jason Isbell like blew him out of the water. Jason Isbell's incredible.
Wow. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I love the Drive-By Truckers. Jason Isbell is the shit. I would also recommend, if you want to get into like some good country that makes you think a little bit, Sturgill Simpson.
Oh, I love A Sailor's Guide to Earth is one of the best albums.
Hey.
One of the best albums. Like, love Sturgill Simpson. And he's got great politics too. We love Sturgill.
He really does.
We love Sturgill. And he's one of the few guys.
So that's the one nice thing about like working in country radio. is like learning about good country music. Not that I'm playing any of it, but like you just set down on that path. It's really good. John Five, also really good country guitar player.
That's right. Has he ever like really played with any country guys? Because he just kind of plays his own instrumental stuff. He just had that one album, and now he went back to metal, kind of. But...
Yeah, I think there's usually like one country song on every John Five album or something.
Okay, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, he's great.
Indeed. Speaking of great guitarists, Pike 307, Mercury Beak, incorrectly listed as Mercury Break a ton of places. Definitely Mercury Beak. Released on April 5th, 2022, 66 days after the toy cupboard. This one's 2 tracks as well. Clocks in at 27:33.
Now, I'm sorry. I listened to 2-Story Hourglass, which I thought was 308.
Oh, no.
Is Theater of the Disembodied?
So Theater of the Disembodied is 308, yeah. And then
okay, so I did listen to one correct one.
Which
so I'm 2. I listened to the toy cupboard.
Okay.
Theater of the Disembodied and 2-Story Hourglass.
Oh, okay.
So,
interesting. 2-Story Hourglass, that was 305. We did that last week. It's cool. It's cool. It's an odd number. Close enough.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No, it's all good. What did you think of 2-Story Hourglass?
I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked the groove, and it was where I cemented my belief in like Buckethead thinks of an idea or groove or a vibe, and he just plays that till it's a logical conclusion.
Yeah, and this one too, at least on the titular track, 2-Story Hourglass, like I wasn't sure for a lot of it if he was playing with guitar or bass until he started playing like way high up on the neck. And this one's like, it's very repetitive, but it's super groovy, which is cool. It's something you can just kind of like groove out on or fucking get stoned and put on in the background. It's pretty cool. I like 2-Story Hourglass. Quite all right. What'd you think of the second track, Growing Gills?
I thought it was fine. Yeah. I thought it was more kind of like the same idea anyways. Yeah, just repetitive more, and
a little more
groovy.
Alt metal, a little grungier, I think, than the previous track. There was that really cool soft part about a minute and a half in. Thankfully this song isn't like super long. Well, it is. It's like 9 minutes, but the first song is 19 minutes, so
yeah,
it's better than that.
So what was the correct Pike?
The correct
how was
Pike, that? The correct Pike was 307 Mercury Beak. It was fine. It was kind of like the album we just discussed. The first track, Mercury Beak, clocks in at 23 minutes. Not particularly interesting. A mix of alt metal and bluesy rock mostly. No bass at all, just backing keyboards. And I actually wrote here a conversation that we had about, I don't know if Dan Monte's still around at all, because I have no idea. Second track, Echoing Unicorn, kind of the same as the first song, but only like 4 minutes long instead of, like 23, which is too long for most songs. Alt metal with bluesy stuff. Drum programming's really good. Fun effects. Nothing terribly new. Nothing terribly interesting. You didn't really miss much. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why he just stopped doing solos, but he did. That makes me sad. I don't know.
Does he still tour?
So, interesting. I don't know why I didn't talk about this. Well, we don't really have a Bucket News place because when we started this Bucketcast, he wasn't doing like anything. But in Bucket News this week, a couple of weeks ago actually, he put up a thing thanking people for seeing his Praxis show, because he just played a show that was like a benefit show basically for Bill Laswell in New York, and he played 2 shows on the 30th and the 31st of August, so just like 3 weeks ago. And then like right after the shows, he put up a thing on his website saying like, thank you everyone for coming. What songs from the Pikes would you like to see me play live? Which is, I mean, a cryptic question, but not that cryptic.
So, okay, what Pikes do you want to hear me play live? Like, number one, that just opens up that maybe he thinks that people know the songs from his Pikes. And number two, that he remembers them all, right?
I mean, he can always go back and listen to them and relearn them, right? You know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's something he's listened to, and he probably has the original tracks, so he can probably isolate them and everything. Gotta wonder about that. Like, he's got to.
Guess that's the one thing about Buckethead. It's like I was thinking about it when I was listening to this third Pike of his, where it's like he's a guy who says, "Hey, who wants to see me fuck around on a guitar?" And then in every town he goes to, 250 to 400 dudes are like, me.
Yes, correct. And they're all
what
dudes.
A charmed life.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're all dudes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's super interesting. Yeah. Buckethead's fan base is truly special, and they're
and because he's special, and it's so why even who cares about the song? Oh, I really need to hear the great Carousel live. Like, no, man, I'm here.
True.
I'm here to see you do the nunchucks or whatever,
right?
And, fuck around.
Ultimately, people will be happy with anything he plays live. But there are definitely better Pikes and better songs on the Pikes and things I want to hear him like pull off live. Basically, we've all got our favorites and stuff, and I do have a couple things cataloged in the back of my head where if like I heard him play it live, I'd be like, I actually recognize that song. Whereas I'd say 95% plus of the Pike material, I would not recognize it, and I could not tell you what Pike it's from, just hearing it. So, it is what it is.
It is what it is, yeah.
That goes with any, like, super productive, prolific artists, You can only listen to so many things. There's no one who, even though he wrote, like, 400 symphonies, like, there's no one who recognizes, like, all of Mozart's shit. It's one of them.
No, that's true. Yeah. But it's also you're a fan of Mozart being Mozart. But
true.
No,
exactly.
I guess even Mozart does have a couple of those bangers where you're like,
exactly.
Okay.
But at the same time, if Mozart was just like playing a new symphony, you just go see Mozart, not ever having heard it before, because he's fucking Mozart, dog.
Yeah.
Speaking of a modern Mozart, Pike 308, Theater of the Disembodied, released on April 9th, 2022, 4 days after Mercury Beak. 27 minutes, 41 seconds. Longest Pike this week.
So, is there a band that this Pike sounds like? And maybe, are we on the same plane? Because I definitely think so.
What did you get? Because there was a couple of different things. Because track 2, I thought was very like Alice Cooper.
Yeah. I was picking up a lot of Iron Maiden.
So I got some Alice Cooper and some Ozzy Osbourne. Definitely like older heavy metal. A little less like new wave of British heavy metal and a little more of that arena type shit, I think. But yeah, I could see that for sure. I could see that.
One thing, I kept on thinking of Number of the Beast. That's the song that kept on popping up when I was listening to that. Mostly with the da-na-na-na-na.
Right. There was a lot of that. The thing is, though, there's no bass, and the thing to me that defines Iron Maiden more than anything is Steve Harris doing loud as fuck over everything. I love it. It's the best thing.
Oh, I love Iron Maiden. I love the galloping. No, Steve Harris is the man. I guess if you just took away that bass, then I felt like maybe there was still some Iron Maiden vibes in there. However, is there Iron Maiden without Steve Harris? That's really
a great point. And without vocals. Like, it is one of those things where, like, this is so stripped down. Like, if you stripped out, those two elements of Iron Maiden, it wouldn't be unrecognizable as Iron Maiden. It'd probably just sound like Halloween or something.
Or it would sound like this Pike.
Perhaps.
At least where I was coming from.
So yeah.
Okay, so we were kind of in the same vein-ish of like some classic heavy metal.
Yeah, and he's been doing stuff lately that is definitely obviously more of a tribute. Like a few Pikes ago, he did one that was obviously just like a tribute to AC/DC. It was very AC/DC riffs, and it was boring because there was like, it was just AC/DC riffs, but this is during the point where he stopped soloing. So imagine AC/DC riffs, but like no bass. All rhythm guitar, no lead guitar, very simple drums, no vocals. And that's what it was. And you're like, okay, well, I've heard this riff a lot now, so what's
and that's
next?
when Spencer left.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. Spencer did leave right around when the soloing stopped. So, I don't know. Says a lot about someone. All of these tracks are named like seats in a theater, like row B, seat 10 rather, row O,
and it spells
21.
out boat with 2 T's.
It does. BOATT, and then 10, 21, 4, 17, 18. What do you think all that means?
Oh God, I don't know. I got to boat, and I was like, okay, that's good enough. Bye.
I don't know. I mean, well, I wonder if there's numerology there. We could do it real quick, but I really don't want to.
No, let's not bother.
Yeah, we're good. The second track is the one that I thought was like really Alice Cooper-ish. Third track is actually like kind of a dissonant metal song, but it is like in a way like Iron Maiden dissonant-ish, which is pretty cool. And I actually thought this one was like my track of the week because it was short, chunky, fun little ditty. No solos still, but fun. It didn't wear out its welcome like a lot of this stuff. Wasn't too repetitive like a lot of this stuff. Fun little metal, you know? Good with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting that it felt like the one album that was the most one song out of all of them.
Yeah, which is weird.
Why is it this one that's broken down?
I don't know. That is strange. Yeah, it did feel like he was more focused on this album towards a singular vision than he was on the other Pikes this week, for sure. Track 4, another dissonant song, but it almost sounded like black metal to me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But then it goes into like
I was getting that vibe.
Yeah, it goes into like a new metal jam after that, which is just like kind of groovy groove metal. It actually sounds like there's bass on this song, but it's like mixed way back, very disappointingly. It's pretty good song. It goes between black metal, darker alt metal, new metal. Does a lot of kill switch. Got a lot of kill switch on this song.
It's also where his like kill switch talks though. Like doesn't he? Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep, he does a lot of that. The end of this song is cool. The beginning of the song is really cool. The middle's it's kind of like a sandwich with really good bread, but like I don't know, just like fucking Cool Whip in between. Not even mayo. It's just Cool Whip.
Hell yeah. Cool Whip.
Cool Whip isn't that
tangy
cool.
Ass zip.
I know, right?
No.
If I wanted,
it's usually warm.
Yeah. If I wanted a tangy zip, I'd add just a little bit of like fucking vinegar, man. That's what it's there for.
That's exactly what it's there for.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you can make a mean sandwich when you want to.
Oh, I make a great ass sandwich. But
your butt cheeks or the bread, dude. That's why it's so good.
Putting the meat in the butt cheeks, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I'm going vegan diet, dude. I'm gonna do that tossed onion, red onion in there a little bit, a couple of shallots. Oh yeah.
Shallots. How dare you?
Shallots.
Track 5, fine. Very staccato, no solos. Just backing track riffs. Not too impressive or interesting. Whatever. What did you think of this whole Pike?
I liked it. I liked but it's also just for the same reason I liked the first one.
Yeah,
it's passive. I want him to score a Doom soundtrack or something.
He did,
just so we can have another element.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he basically did. The guy who did Doom did like a refit over it and had fucking Buckethead soundtrack it. Called, I forget, like Sigil or something. We did a Bucket Fact about it like a year ago.
Oh shit! Okay, I'll look it up then because I love Doom and I would love to hear that.
Apparently, it's very difficult to install. Just so you know.
Oh well, but it just needs another element, right? Because I feel bad for you sitting there with your pad and pen, trying to do your due diligence for the show and listening to. Just new metal jams.
Not engaging. Yeah, exactly. It sounds like something rough that he's going to add something to, but nothing's added. This is the stuff he released.
Which is, I guess the essential problem of the podcast, but then why have fans that dig into all this stuff? Because it's fascinating what he's been doing, but why he's doing it as well. Where it seems slapdash and not super thought through. But maybe that's what makes it special, is that these are Buckethead's thoughts, and his thoughts are he doesn't want to do solos anymore.
Guess not. It's kind of weird, yeah, but maybe it was a health thing. Maybe it was just what he wanted. Who knows? We'll never know. Probably he's never going to talk about
probably
it.
Not.
Oh well. But
how are you going to end this on like a high note? Like how do we make this the most positive, fun podcast ever? Because it's it seems like diminishing returns.
Yeah.
He stopped soloing. He stopped making really engaging music.
I might have listened ahead, and he gets back to soloing eventually. So this isn't a permanent thing. He has put out some bangers since this. It's just for a period of a couple of years, he just stopped. Like literally, the next Pike has like a ton of like tapping and shit. So, it accidentally autoplayed today after.
Album.
Yeah, it played after the Theater of the Disembodied today, and I was like, oh shit, this Pike rocks. It's great that by the last track. Oh no, this is the next Pike, motherfucker. So. Sorry, you missed the cool stuff again. You got the very passive stuff. But if you went to a theater of the Disembodied, what movie would you see there?
I would definitely be watching Things. Have you had the chance to see it?
Oh, yes, the shot on video film from like 1988. Things is amazing. Yeah, Things sucks, but in the coolest way.
It's just like I made a better movie in 6th grade. I literally did. And these dudes were like 23-year-old heshers just drinking beer. I have the DVD and I have the commentary. And they have
a commentary for that?
They have a commentary.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's dank.
Yeah. Yeah. After the show, I'll let you know the company or whatever. Cause it's anyways, but so it's the two guys. And then they have a girl that maybe they're trying to like impress or something because she's not in the movie at all. And she's just making fun of the movie the entire fucking time and calling them losers.
That's
and stuff.
So cool.
And they're just drunk on Labatt's Blue Ribbon. And yeah, it's so cool. So yes, Things.
Beautiful.
How about you?
I'd probably go see Fantasia. No, I hate Fantasia. Why don't I see Fantasia? I don't know. Theater of the Disembodied. I feel like that's a good place to see some kind of body horror, like maybe some David Cronenberg, or what's Tetsuo the Iron Man. You seen that? The Japanese body horror film. That shit's rad.
I saw a little bit of it.
It's
Mermaid in a Manhole. Some of that shot on it's from the Guinea Pig series or something like that. Some real fucked up stuff from the 90s. Hellraiser, if we're doing like goth news.
Yeah, for sure. Hellraiser is like the gothest thing to ever exist, right?
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. Yes.
Indeed.
Just suffering, pain, great fashion. So good.
Indeed. Speaking of suffering, that's the Pikes for the week. Do you want to take a trip into the bucket void with me?
I would love to.
Here we go.
Statements from the bucket void.
Oh my God! We're at the part of the show where we talk about YouTube comments on these Pikes in the bucket void. So I've arranged them by Pike. Hopefully you can see them there. And we're going to go in order here. So, 7 months ago, Wilson Rollin says, "To me, it is that Brian can play anything and everything under the sun. Yet he adds his so much to it versus so many other guitarists. Then his personal music trumps them all in amazing sound technique and beauty. There's no real way for me to describe what I hear when he plays. Just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your life, music, and soul with us, Brian. I am truly grateful, brother."
All of that seems so wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, his life? Like, what do any of us know about Buckethead's life?
I don't know. I mean, I guess he's sharing his life because, like, what he's doing with his life is like just playing music, basically. That we know.
Great point.
That we know of, though. So I don't
think
think
he probably doesn't have a lot of time to walk dogs. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Because he has had like a significant other that has like never really been addressed with much of his art or anything. So
what? Buckethead dates?
He has before. He had a song called "The Touch of Big D," and there was a lady named Big D who used to like dance at his shows and stuff like that. He's definitely like dated people before. It's kind of public knowledge, not really. Ish.
That is not who I would see Buckethead as, but that's awesome. Good for him.
Crazy. Dr. Samurai says 7 months ago, a moment of silence for those who have not yet listened to a Buckethead album.
Love your voice. You just
laughed right through the moment of silence. Do you really respect Jesus Christ?
I'm sorry, Dr. Samurai.
How disrespectful. He's a doctor and a samurai. He's going to diagnose you with getting stabbed, son. So next we got Prester John. Says 7 months ago,
they say IQ and love of instrumentals go hand in hand. I feel my IQ expanding with every instrumental I listen to.
That's such a Mensa fucking ass comment. Like, first off, who cares about their IQ that's like older than 13? You know,
that is hilarious. You're 100% right.
That guy's just a silly.
And instrumentals go hand in hand. It's like the dude's like, oh, metal music is more like classical music than anything else. All right. Oh wait,
yeah. Like
go back to cattle decapitation, which I love, by the way.
Oh hell yeah, they're actually like. So I wasn't a big fan of their like older like grind stuff or whatever, but like. Their newer albums are like this crazy symphonic metal, and they're actually really good.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah. It's so good. The past like couple of albums, I forgot what the last one was called, but it was really good.
It's, but like the guitar
the song like "Bring Back the Plague." Oh,
yeah, really cool, really cool stuff. All right, next we're going into the hater void here. Rich's Pizza Party says 7 months ago. Wake me and my money when he starts ripping solos again. Sorry, fanboys. I love him too, but come on, man. And then he says right after that, on a side note, his artwork has gotten better. Some people were pretty mad about this one. They didn't appreciate his criticism very much, and so they lashed out. They lashed back out at him. So Skellion Gray says also 7 months ago,
kinda weird to see negativity on his recent Pikes. If you don't like it, skip it and go listen to one you like. Not every Pike is gonna have a face melting solo, and that's okay.
People seem to really like that comment. Rock and Metal for Life says 7 months ago, in response to someone else in here, well, it has been a while, and all these new Pikes just seem backing tracks, honestly. I guess the rumors that he can't play solos anymore because of his heart condition are true, frowny face. Which is like, it's so weird. There was another person who actually called him out on this, like, what do you mean, like, those are just rumors, obviously. Like, no one knows anything, he hasn't talked about it, why would you say something like that? That's ridiculous. And it is ridiculous.
It's just so out of left field. You can't play guitar solos because of your heart condition. Like the guy from Wasp shouldn't have ever been able to pick up an axe. Like ever since Decline of Western Civilization Part 2, he shouldn't have been able to play guitar since '88. But and it's just weird, and how people dig in for answers when there just aren't any. And I guess that's part of the brilliance of Buckethead.
Exactly.
Whether it's designed on purpose, I don't know, but you just dig into it.
I don't know if that is by design to like just be intentionally obscure. And maybe it is, because I mean he doesn't want people to know him, but at the same time that like kind of acts as its own marketing in a way.
I don't think that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think. I think that he doesn't want everyone to know him on a super personal level.
Right.
not that he wasn't. Things are done intentionally, right? Like he's like, my persona is going to be mysterious. I don't think he ever thought that. I think he thought was, I don't want people to know who I am.
Yeah, I want to be able to wear this mask to mask my anxiety, basically, which is, cool. Yeah. And that's awesome. That's good for him, good for
him for setting those boundaries.
Yeah, for protecting his mental health. So, Voldemortadella, great name. Voldemortadella. The cheese that shall not be... Wait, mortadella? The smoked meat that shall not be spoken. I don't know. Says to Skelly and Gray, who we talked about earlier there. He's not being negative. I'm in the same boat as him. As much as I love his new music, I still miss his solos. Hell, I even miss his non-solo songs, like Redeem Team or Familiar Spirit. I still consider Buckethead the greatest musician alive right now. Cool. And lastly, for this Pike, Mary Hill says 7 months ago, Hail to the king! Best in your face! Panty dropper groove! Rocker in the business! Which, Mary Hill, you are a queen. Hell yeah. That whole comment, best comment of the week. Thank you. All right, moving on here. Pike 307. Comments on this guy. Con Boonma says 5 months ago,
Masked class. Just play his albums on shuffle. You can clearly zone out and forget any problems in your life. Next minute you are hooked and keep going forward for his next Pikes or projects. Another great album though. This was the most liked comment on the page for some reason. It was a fine Pike. It was not a masterclass. And I don't recommend listening to all his Pikes on shuffle, because there's 30 of them that are just like ambient noise that you're going to be like, what? Kevin says 5 months ago, Buckethead's dedication to his music and to share his music is incredible, and to know some of the obstacles he's overcome to share his music the way he does and to tour with Guns N' Roses was an incredible accomplishment for him, and I just want to commend him for sharing some of the greatest music ever created with the world. Hell yeah, Kevin. We love that. Next, we got Rex Ryder. Who's
Can you do this one in a old timey, like minor voice?
Old timey minor. Okay, yeah, I got this one. Ready? Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh my God, my lungs! Oh,
that's all. That's what I got.
Solid.
Okay, old timey minor. So Rex Ryder says 5 months ago,
I just played this for some friends. They didn't like it. I'm sure going to miss them.
That was his second most liked comment on this whole thing. Next, we got Stephen Coghill with some hate here. People didn't seem to like this one. Stephen Coghill. How should I read this one? What's the...
Oh, okay. I want you to, as a detective from the 1940s.
Ooh, like a noir. Okay.
Yeah, noir.
Slow jazz music plays in the background. Unfinished music again. Without bass and leads, see? What the fuck, Buckethead? And then Vivimos en una sociedad says who's going to be his boss.
Are you really gonna complain every single upload? I'd like to see you put out something better every month.
Wilson Rollin, who will be his distraught wife, Stephen Coghills. Here we go.
Nice.
Your negativity and ignorance is something you need to deal with. Here in the real world. Everyone else is totally enjoying Brian's new music. Hope you get the help you need. Back to Stephen Coghill.
That was so good. That was so good.
Back to Stephen Coghill, noir detective. LOL. Yeah, that was
killed it.
Yeah, a lot of people complained about there's no bass, no leads, and a lot of people called it like backing track music, which I kind of agree with. You know, it's empty. There's an empty feeling there.
And it's just so interesting. Have you ever like left a comment in any kind of music discussion on YouTube?
Not that I can think of, no, because I mean it's mostly, especially for music YouTube, it is it sucks. It's all dog shit. It's all angry people, and the other half of it's like people who are angry and like fuck this sucks, just shitty people, and the other half are people who need to tell you their age. They're either like, I'm 95 and I just found out this music is the best music, or I'm 13 and I was born in the wrong generation because this is the music I like. I don't like that hip hop crap. Like it's one of those two. So I don't spend much time on the YouTube comments unless it's for the show.
Yeah. That's and there's the other. Yeah, it's some people, and it's like a worldwide medium too, right?
Yeah.
So like some of these don't translate to English very well, and
yeah,
you know, and so things can be taken out of context. But I love the fervor, you know, that these people, that Buckethead brings out of these people. How many total comments do you think? It's like 208 or who knows? But like
total comments per Pike. I mean, there's like
or just this Pike, you know.
This one, I mean, altogether, there's probably 50 to 100 comments, I'd say. And you know, on the newer ones, there's less than the older ones in general, just because it's
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, on some of the older ones, you can get up to a couple hundred comments, I'd say. I mean, none of them are insanely popular, but some of the older Pikes have between like maybe 50 and 100,000 views, which is significant, especially for an album, you know?
Yeah, and especially for how many. I mean, we can get that through 7 albums, but it really just says something about the people, you know, who talk about Buckethead, who listen to Buckethead, and just how much they care enough to leave comments not liking the solos or lack thereof, et cetera, et cetera.
It's so strange because I don't consider myself one of those people, even though I, at this point, have probably like done the most work on any singular project about Buckethead specifically than anyone else out there. But I still don't consider. I didn't come into this as like a Buckethead fan. I am a Buckethead fan, but like not one of these people.
No, I am also a Buckethead fan, but I am certainly not one of the. Yeah, exactly. But you've dedicated like 2 years to it.
I have.
Dude, you got to write a book. You got to write a book after all this is done.
That's actually a thought I've had, because I mean, especially with all the bucket facts and shit I have, like I have probably a more complete view of Buckethead and what he's done in his life when he's done it in his life than, I mean, most people interested in Buckethead even. So I don't know.
And you know who would buy it? Every single one of these people.
Right. Exactly.
And me, of course. But it's just it's fascinating.
You would get a free advanced copy. You get one of my galley copies.
Could I write a foreword?
Oh yeah, you can write a foreskin, baby. Next we got Pikes on.
Yours is too wide, bro. I heard you piss.
That's more than standard page size. I don't know if we can print that. Next we got comments on Pike 308. So we start out with Ben S. What kind of character is Ben S?
Ben S is a puppet.
A pup? Okay, like is like a dummy or a Muppet?
I'm gonna say, you know what? I'll give him a little respect. Muppet.
Okay.
If Big B is done with soloing, I wish he would play some more mellow acoustic stuff. This style has been played the fuck out as of late, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if I agree with that. If he stopped soloing entirely, I think he should just do more acoustic stuff. That makes sense to me. But he didn't stop. He just did for a while. And who knows why. We'll probably never hear why. Next, we got a comment from Stories from Earth 5 months ago. What character is he? Them.
Hold on. Like a Fred Durst style rapper.
Ooh, okay. So a white rapper from like the late 90s. Okay, so
yeah.
Yo, sometimes I think I can hear bass. Are these just justice for all mixes? A lot of people like that comment. Not that many people. 3 people like that comment.
3, yeah.
All right. Next we have a comment from Ron Stanek just 4 months ago. This guy I think is definitely a comic book type guy, so I'm gonna make him like comic book guy. Get down to your local corner store and buy a copy of the latest Buckethead issue. The action-packed Pikes will blow you away. Yes, the same hero ever since volume number 1, and still a lucky penny.
Ugh, I hate that guy. Yeah. That guy seems like he'd just be the worst at like playing D&D or something, like a total rules lawyer, checking the book all the time. Ugh. What a stickler.
Oh yeah, he'd be the worst DM of all time, and still a lucky penny. That's just such bad writing. I hate it. So next we got Thomas Knight Wagner says 5 months ago. What kind of character is he?
He's a carnival barker.
Oh, a carnival barker. All right. So he says, "Here, Buckethead converts diminished reality into creativity." All right. Next, we got Ben S. again. He was the guy from the first one. What kind of guy was he? I totally forget.
Oh, I've forgotten already. But like a Ben Affleck, but not like the Dark Knight,
Okay,
Ben
so
Affleck,
so Boston, Ben Affleck. Wake me up when he decides to add bass tracks and solos. Gabriel Avram says, if he decides a bass guitar is not needed, we should believe that he knows better. Winky face with the tongue out. And Ben S. says he's going to switch characters again. He's now a Dickensian newsboy. If I hear you, Big B does know best. I'm just jonesing for some more mind-bending shredding. Hopefully he's saving the best for summer.
All right, I want to dig into that thread real quick because, like, Gabriel, that has got to be the dumbest comment, though, like, about Buckethead, like, where he knows better. Like, I don't think that any Buckethead fan would know, I feel like would understand that Buckethead doesn't give a shit about the quality of the song.
Yeah.
It's the expression that he wants to put out there, you know?
Right.
It's,
and so,
the Pikes are a blank page, and this is his journal.
So does he know better then? Like, I don't know.
Well, I get from that comment that Buckethead knows that it sounds better without bass, which I feel like Buckethead knows it doesn't.
Yeah, and he's just like, I should just put it out. Yeah, Gabriel, like, and that's the thing is, there's a lot of stands. Like, we haven't seen fucking Jordan Vine in a little while here, but there are a lot of people who just like, defend Buckethead and whatever he does. And like, even if he does something that's boring or kind of not worth your time, they're like, I don't care what people say. He's the fucking best. I'm like, no. Like, I mean, he's very good at what he does, but like, he makes decisions that I disagree with. It's okay to criticize art. Like, we're all on the bucket. We're all listening to obscure Buckethead music. We all obviously have some appreciation for him. And it's okay to criticize things you have appreciation for. Like,
And my umbrage is a fan saying, well, he didn't put the bass tracks in because he knows for this song, it's fitting his creative mode. Like, well, no, I don't think so.
I think it's because he doesn't have a bassist anymore. Like,
and he can't be bothered to do it himself.
Right. He doesn't have the bandwidth.
Because it would just be the bandwidth, and he would just play the same shit he was on the guitar, maybe, or something,
Indeed.
He also only knows how to slap on the bass. So I feel like maybe Buckethead's very, what is it? 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, ones and zeros when it comes
very,
to
very binary. Very binary.
Binary,
yes.
Yes. I slap the bass.
He does slap at the bass.
The guitar.
He does shred at the guitar. So, finally in the bucket void here, X-Disciple X says 5 months ago, edited. What kind of character is X-Disciple X?
Oh, but it was edited, right? All right,
edited.
so he is a robot who is slowly realizing that he has a little bit of humanity.
Okay. Still waiting on 300 to even ship Frowny Face? It was supposed to ship in January. And then Carpenter Joe says 5 months later, who is the woman that he falls in love with that makes him recognize his humanity. Carpenter Josephine, if you will. I canceled my 2 last. They took too long. I guess I'll just subscribe to YouTube. And that's the greatest love story ever told, people.
Oh, the romance that'll last for forever.
Indeed.
Statements from the Bucket
Oh boy! We are to the part of the show now where we recommend something. Do you have something to recommend, Mr. Matt?
Absolutely. I would say go watch Berserker. It's in theaters right now a little bit. It's got Justin Long. It's got that Bill Skarsgård guy.
Okay.
It's got a small, tight, fun cast. And you know why I recommend it? It's because it's from dusk till dawn. It's one movie.
Okay. Yep.
And then halfway through, it changes.
Totally different movie.
It's great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. I kind of like movies who give me 2 movies. It's a twofer. You get 2 movies. I like that.
And in just an hour and a half. Can't beat it.
Oh.
How about you, Britt?
I got to recommend and anti-recommend. First thing I'm going to recommend is the Angel series of films from the 1980s. We got Angel, we got Avenging Angel, and Angel 3, The Final Chapter. And then there's a 4th one, which I haven't watched yet. But I have watched the first 3 in the last few months, and they are super fun. General premise is they're about an ex-prostitute who then goes to try to, like, serve up justice somehow. Usually against, like, a pimp or, like, a drug ring or something like that. And in the first 2, there's this, like, my favorite character in the series, this old guy named Kit, who is, like, very convinced he's, like, an old cowboy. And he goes around shooting things and stuff. He's amazing. Love that.
I love it.
Yeah. Unrecommend is Disney's The Country Bears from 2002, starring like Haley Joel Osment as Barry Barrington. It sucked. It was one of the dumbest things I've seen in my fucking life. Terrible. You should make your kid watch it. It'd be funny.
I will.
It's like the whole time. It's like it's good cringe humor at times, and like some of the musical numbers are actually pretty fun. But for the most part, you're like, oh my God, this is dated. Oh my God, no. What are they doing?
I love that. I love dated, awful, so cringy stuff. It's my bread and butter. Is it free somewhere? Is it like on Tubi or something? YouTube?
It should be on, yeah, if you have Disney Plus. I don't think so. I mean, if you want, you can have access to my Plex server. I got all types of stuff on my Plex server.
Yeah. All right, deal.
Yeah, I'll hit you up on Instagram about that later.
Awesome.
Yeah, but I guess with that, it's time for some bucket jokes.
Ha 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 bucket joke. Ha 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 bucket joke. Ha 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 bucket joke. Ha 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 bucket joke.
So, you're a comedian. Do you have any jokes that you want to tell?
Sure, I sure do. So first off, have you heard of the Retaliators? This movie that came out in the theaters. Have you heard about this?
No, I have not.
Seen this? So the Retaliators is a action horror revenge movie starring a lot of modern day heavy metal dudes. Jacoby Shaddix from Five Finger Death Punch is in it.
Okay.
Ivan Moody, the lead singer of Five Finger Death Punch, et cetera, et cetera. Tommy Lee is in The Retaliators, a movie that played just once in theaters this last Wednesday. It's Tommy Lee's in The Retaliators. I mean, it's like him and his dick have different agents. His dick's making headlines, dude.
Oh yeah, it is.
Has been for decades. Tommy Lee's in the Retaliators. I mean, if you get there, all right, here we go. So I was diving into this one a lot, but so the Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly relationship. Have you heard about this?
I have, unfortunately,
yeah. The Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly relationship is to people addicted to Percodan with face tattoos, as to the Turnstile 10 Robinson friendship. Have you heard about this? You see the Turnstile 10 Robinson?
Yeah, I have. I have briefly.
I think you should leave, that guy. He's been skateboarding with a turnstile. Yeah. So the Megan Fox Machine Gun Kelly relationship is to the people addicted to Percodan, or Percocets, whatever the perks are that the kids are talking about. The perks, with face tattoos, as the Turnstile 10 Robinson friendship is to dudes with kids who homebrew that used to be in punk bands and watch YouTube videos about Japanese chef knives.
that is the most specific punchline I've ever heard. You wrote this about like one person you hate. Like
it was about me. Really.
So I was right then. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We're having a lot of fun here, but hey, it's time to get serious. It's time to get serious about Cocomelon. This kid's YouTube channel. It's poorly animated people with blank faces just going through the motions time and time again. Shit, if I wanted my kid to see that, I'd bring him into our bedroom.
Damn.
You know what the fuck I mean? But no, in all honesty, I have a very satisfying family life. And then, apropos of nothing, Brett, I just wanted to throw out to you an honest-to-goodness list of bands who have played Alaska this year. Okay?
Okay.
So, Rusted Root.
I've heard of them.
Send me on my way. Send me on my way. Send me on my way. Oh, you don't remember Send Me on my way?
Do not know. I've heard of Rusted Root because I know they played in Alaska before.
Okay, well they've played again, but this time they couldn't be Rusted Root. They were called Still Rooted because one of the founders wasn't in there anymore. Here we go. Saliva played here. Always, but they didn't even have their original lead singer.
What? Oh no.
Yeah, Josie Scott, who was famous for being on the Spider-Man soundtrack with Chad Kroeger.
He was.
The Village People played Alaska recently.
How many? They don't have any original members, do they? They're just like a franchise now, aren't they?
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. With some of the beer bellies I saw, I was like, well, maybe some of those dudes could still be original. But Candlebox,
the Seattle band, I think, right? Maybe.
I guess so. Yeah. Hootie from Hootie and the Blowfish. Darius Rucker.
Well, Darius Rucker's actually like big in the country world. He's a wagon wheel man. He's wagon wheel.
True. Yeah.
He's the guy who sings a song that is specifically for white people. Very interesting.
They love it.
Oh, they love it. White people can't get enough of Wagon Wheel.
You play Wagon Wheel and then Sweet Caroline.
Oh my god,
Sweet Carolina. Oh my god, it's gonna be like white people are gonna lose their shit. And POD is playing tonight as we speak. POD is taking the motherfucking stage.
Here comes the boom. Are you a youth of the nation as well?
I was, much like POD, but
definitely.
both of us have reached well into middle age.
I mean, are they still honest in that song? Do they like live sing it like, we are the middle-aged fellas of the nation?
Little Susie, she was only 32.
only 32.
That's my jokes. Thank you very much, Brett. Hopefully a couple of those were funny.
I had a good time. Thank you. Now it's time for my much worse jokes. A cannibal child went on a field trip, but was sent home after he was found eating a scrotum. His parents defended him, saying they were told to provide him with a sack lunch.
It's awesome.
It's a scrotum.
Better than all my jokes, dude. I suck. You rock.
I had a date with a posture specialist this week, but she stood me up.
There's no way that isn't already a joke. Because if it is, like, you need to take that to the stage right now. That's like a beautiful joke.
So if you rearrange the letters in trucks, you get struck. But, if you rearrange the letters in mail trucks, you get a maximum penalty of 5 years and $100,000 fine. I'm watching all of the Fairley Brothers movies alphabetically right now, but I'm stuck on you. Every time a bank teller gives me my balance, they're also a fortune teller.
Yeah.
I can read lips pretty well, but only after they're tattooed. Animal control found out I'm the one who's been feeding the crows and making them congregate at my apartment building, so they're charging me with voluntary murder. It's a murder of crows joke.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I love it. I'm beyond that these jokes are funny. I now know that they're brilliant. I'm in my cosmic brain mode. I'm like, how can you make money off of these jokes? Because they deserve it.
Never. You can't make jokes off one-liners unless you're like British. I can't do it.
No,
my name's Britain.
You can't tell them to people. Here's what you do. You do goth popsicles. Brett.
Oh, there we go.
And these are the fucking jokes on the stick.
Gothsicles.
My dude.
Mm-hmm.
Gothsicles.
We got it right there. It was announced this week that a Sublime biopic is in pre-production. You hear about this?
No, I didn't.
The film is tentatively titled Somehow Worse Than the Red Hot Chili Peppers with Rome. I'm going to finish out my jokes here with, I met Bill Nye's kid this week. I asked her if she was rich like her dad, and she said no, but when he dies, she'll be a billionaire. I'm sorry for that one.
No, well done. Well done.
So now,
now
we have a thing where on the podcast, I go ahead and I search the internet for the most downvoted jokes on all of Reddit, specifically one-liners. So I'm going to tell you the worst jokes that no one liked and people actively disliked. So here we go. If I was a packet high trans fat margarine spread, my preferred pronoun would be tubby. If a vampire could ejaculate, I'd call him Draculator the Ejaculator. Which I think is funny, but only in a terribly anti-humor sort of way.
Dude, that joke is sick. That one's so good.
I'm actually at the end I have a hall of shame where I tell like the bad jokes that are actually fucking funny. I'm putting that one in there.
Yeah.
Here's one that's not though. Hamlet's father was the original notification shade.
Okay.
Just thought of a name for a scummy bald porn star. Vag smear poop stain.
Gross. I hate it.
It doesn't. Yeah, I just hate it so much.
Vag smear poop stain.
Yeah. I told a story about the time I put a tack in my teacher's chair, but she didn't understand. She eventually got the point in the end. Which I get what you're doing there, but it's not funny.
No, the person who did that joke is like 48 and they suck. No, they're 54. They're 54. They also suck.
This must be like the brand name for something, but after seeing a load of inflatable mattresses, I've decided to lay-low for a while. Or maybe lay low. I don't know. I don't know what that one. No, that's a bad one.
I don't know. That one's bad.
Here's one. This might be the worst one of the week. Lollapalooza is for suckers, but Lolly Peruser is for sucker lookers. Yeah, that's a joke somebody wrote on the internet, put out there.
Yeah.
10 seconds straight is a short time to wait, but a long time to be gay.
I mean, no, that one also sucks.
Yeah.
Very bad. It's very bad. That's the worst one.
Yeah. Man, if I just had a nickel for every trite expression.
Ugh. All right, that's the worst one. I hate
maybe, yeah. And here's the last terrible one. I mean, when is it not a good time for rice? Okay, now we have my personal favorite part here. It's the Hall of Shame. These are the jokes that I've gotten, the most disliked jokes on the internet that are actually funny. We'll start. Awesome. New bottom of the list here is, if a vampire could ejaculate, I'd call him Draculator, the ejaculator. Amazing. Next one.
It's still good. Yeah, I love it.
Number 5 on the list, the countdown here. The Twin Towers really didn't stand the test of time.
Booyah.
Yeah. Number 4 here. A criminal can never swim because he's Sin King. He's like the king of sin. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we got. 2 women walked out of a library. They cleaned it so well.
That's great.
Yeah. Number 2, second favorite bad joke. Kurt Cobain received mind-blowing head on April 5th, 1994. And my favorite one right now. A man walks into a stable and the horse says, "Hey, why the small cock?"
10 out of 10.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ha 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 ha! Bucket joke.
Hey, that's the show. We did it. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for being here, Matt. You got anything to plug?
Absolutely not. If you want to watch my documentary on the local Anchorage comedy scene, you can find me on YouTube. I'm Matman907 or something.
You got a couple old podcasts floating around out there. I was listening to your Mixtape Time Machine for a while, but it seems like you stopped that a while ago.
Yeah, John had a kid. We were like, no one's probably listening, but you were.
I was.
So, what are you gonna do?
If you saw your one download from Seattle, it was probably me.
All right,
you're welcome. But where can we find you online if we want to say hi?
At I'm Matman907 on basically all of the things. Matt Collins, you can find me on Facebook very easily. It's me and my child in the photo, and I don't do too many interesting things, but I'm an interesting guy. Maybe.
Yeah, you are.
Hit me
I'd
up.
say you are. Hell yeah! And you can.
Thank you, Brett.
You can talk to me anywhere on at Bucketcast or at a Bucketcast. Yeah, that's where I am on like all the socials. Or just look up Getting Head of Bucketcast. You'll find me somewhere. I'm Britain. Yeah. So I have been Britain.
I've been Matt Collins.
And you've been listening to Getting Head, a Bucketcast. Stay greasy, Bucketheads. Namaste.